Las Vegas was built on desire, more money, more pleasure, more now. But the miser archetype isn't about wanting too much. It's about being terrified of losing. We usually think of misers as greedy people, but what if the miser isn't greedy at all? What if they're terrified? This archetype is represented by Saturn or Kronos, the god who ate his children, not out of hunger, but out of fear of being replaced. Kronos was not evil. Kronos was afraid, and fear has a way of turning protectors into monsters. Kronos, or Saturn, rules time. Time can be constrictive and limiting. Because of this, Saturn is also associated with survival, scarcity, and control. At its core, the shadow of Saturn believes if I don't hold tightly, I will disappear. And this archetype doesn't only live in myths, it lives in relationships. From a psychological perspective, misery is rarely about not having, it's about not feeling safe to receive. At its root, misery is shaped by early attachment wounds, unmet emotional needs, and internalized scarcity. Over time, the psyche forms an internal equation. Safety equals control. Control equals hoarding, and hoarding feels like safety. Misery, then, becomes the emotional cost of trying to stay safe in a world which feels and is unreliable. Esoterically, misery is linked to separation consciousness. It arises when we see ourselves as cut off from source, disconnected from flow, and exiled from trust in life. In many mystical traditions, lack is not about material poverty, it's about forgetting one's participation in the whole. Misery begins the moment one believes, I must take responsibility for everything because the world is not reliable. This belief collapses the natural circulation of energy. Abundance, in esoteric terms, is movement. Misery is stagnation born out of fear. Scarcity mindset does not only exist in the material realm, we often see it in family dynamics, siblings competing for praise, attention, or affection, as if love was limited, as if there was not enough to go around. Psychologically, lack mindset emerges from trauma, especially emotional neglect and shame based identity, like the quiet belief, I am not enough. Energetically, scarcity reflects a blockage in the root or the solar plexus centers. In the subtle realm, it translates into fear of annihilation or abandonment, and identification with physical survival. This is the karma of survival consciousness, whether personal or ancestral. The miser isn't greedy because they want more. They are greedy because they are afraid of having nothing. The shadow of the miser may show up as hoarding money, time, love, or information, being suspicious towards generosity, or resentment towards abundance in others. They often struggle to fully enjoy what they have. Their deepest fear is dependency or need. Internally, this can feel like chronic anxiety, emotional emptiness, or the sense of being one loss away from collapse. Most of us carry some aspect of this archetype, especially during times of stress, loss, or uncertainty. And yet, every shadow hides a treasure. The miser's shadow hides reverence for value, sensitivity to loss, and the instinct to survive. When integrated, the miser transforms. They become someone who circulates resources wisely, a conscious guardian, not a hoarder. Kronos did not hoard because he was powerful. He hoarded because he was afraid of change, time, and loss. And until we stop trying to control the future, we'll keep swallowing the present. In a city built on risk, the miser is not afraid about losing money. They are afraid about losing the idea of themselves. And when you cling to what you have, you stop living long before anything is taken away from you.